Welcome back to Two Man Meta. I'm Mondo Spanner.
And I'm Aunty, and on today's episode, we're going to be looking at a Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions, the card game, Onslaught booster pack. This is the second wave.
There we go. We've got a blade and everything. Go away. Pour moi. Pour vous. So after some off-camera discussion, I'm opening all of these because these are mine. Right, okay, so let's get into it. So this is Onslaught. This is the second wave of the AOS Champions trading card game. We opened one of these packs when we did the Warband video. So we've seen like an absolutely tiddly tiny sample of these. I think I'm going to put it so it goes like abilities, units, spells, champions, blessings. That's the dream I'm living. Right, okay, so let's try and get these open. Get through this in less than a flipping hour. We'll be doing well. Go away, rapper. Okay, right, so we've got Hex Wraiths to start with. Sweet. So these are stacking. Oh, the stacking is such a cool mechanic. Destruction have got so many really useful abilities that they can do off the back of stacking. I'm really interested to see how that works in this second wave. This does tap, rend damage to your opponent. Rend damage is awesome because it means you can't block it in any way. You can't use shields or you can't use spells to stop it or reduce it. And then increase this by 1 per support. So strong. Basically, you start stacking stuff up and then you put these bad boys on the top. Can't try and get some way of quickly rotating, and then you're going to be doing some serious rend damage. That's actually really useful. Good little death thing there. Balefire Corpse Cart. It's a vehicle. So, and it's risen, so it's death again. Rotate damage to your opponent, and then shuffle up to rotate non-vehicle units from your discard pile into your deck. Seems useful.
That's really useful, and also it's the first time we've seen a vehicle in the game.
Yeah, man.
So
that's really cool.
Mechanic.
Nice. And it's a unit. I've got a unit pile and everything. Who says I haven't? Right, so this is an ability. Barrow's Will. More death. That's what I like to see. Gain 1 health. Increase this by 1 for each card. Move to or from your discard pile this turn. That's really interesting.
That can be really interesting.
Yeah, I think. But like, there's a lot of ways in the death faction. Thank you. To get units back into your hand or to get rid of units off of the table. So that's an actual fact as well. Yeah, so say for example you had 3 cards, you'd lost 3 units at the beginning of the turn. That's going to give you 3 health, and then you put 2 back, or you use some kind of heroic act or something to get 2 back into your hand. That's going to be a gain of 5 health in a turn for 1 ability. That's amazing. Very, very strong. Right, that's cool.
That's got to be timed well, but it's going to be awesome when
if you can do it, that'd be great. Oh, here we go. Destruction, a hacking Morm fan pack. They need to stop smoking, don't they, if they're hacking? Ha ha ha. Laugh it up, fuzzball. Right, anyway, so their rotate is rend damage. So that's strong. So it's nothing when they come in, 3 when they rotate the first time, nothing when they rotate the second time, and then 2 rend damage. Lovely. They're all good, and they're ogres, except they can't spell. Stand Together. This is an ability for wizards. Is that a death one?
No, I think that's a generic
just a generic, isn't it? Because it's grey. One of the things that we have found, which is probably the only properly true frustration of this game, is that there's very little difference in the greys, in the colours of the borders. And so, these generic ones, they kind of like get lost because you're just like, well, I can't work out whether that's death, generic, or some other colour.
Like a faction symbol on the card would have been really nice, given that there's only 4 factions as well, and they're never going to do any more. Like, I'm going to tear this game apart in parts because, some of it just seems a little...
It was frustrating, wasn't it? When we played it, we were like, oh, man. Right, anyways, okay, so, Stand Together. This card is gain 3 health and increase this by 1 for each highlighted unit. Now, we've seen that card, haven't we? or we've seen something that's got a very similar effect. So that's an ability. Oh, a twisted skull cannon. Seems painful. Another vehicle. This one is rotate damage to your opponent, and then it's got last stand, restart a highlighted unit.
Nice.
Ooh, that's cheeky. So if you've got something that does damage as soon as it lands, like a good amount of damage, and then it turns away to nothing, you could rotate it back to do that damage again. That would be really, really strong. And it does 5 damage itself, so that's pretty nasty. Cool. Soul Cage. Highlighted spells and units are dormant. So that's the one that's directly opposite your wizard. If the highlighted champion is engaged, they cannot use heroic acts.
That's strong.
That's cool.
It's only 2 turns, but it's strong.
Yeah, but they would be engaged, wouldn't they? Because this spell would be out. That's one of your wizards,
yeah,
right?
He doesn't stop anything. So when he...
No, he does extra damage.
Yeah.
So you cast a spell and he does 3 damage, and then you turn and you cast another spell, he does another 3 damage. Oh, right, that's awesome. He's pretty cool. I like him, and he'd just sit around because he's clunky. That seems like a useful, nice little unit. Right, surround them. We've got an ability for destruction. Move the top card of a stacking unit controlled by this champion onto a highlighted, disengaged warrior champion. Any supporting units remain where they are. Now that's interesting because
you can split your stack.
You can split. Not only can you split your stack, but also, do you remember, like, is it only the top card of the stack that rotates?
Yes.
So therefore, if you've like only rotated the second card or the first card once, then they start moving up again or they start turning again. So that's really, really interesting. That's an interesting ability there. Oops. Oh, we kind of, got excited and showed you the last card there. Clawing Lava. A blessing for Akshi. Ah, do you recognise that symbol?
So in the Warband pack opening, we had that on a
it was
rotation
a spell, wasn't it?
For a...
It was one of the order.
Yeah, it was for an order character. And we did not know what that is, but now we know.
Yeah, it's an Akshi. So whatever the hell that is, it's probably some AOS thing that we've got zero knowledge of. So anyway, this is a blessing. So this is one of the things that pops out once you've rotated your warrior or your
champion.
Your champion 4 times. So heroic act, remove highlighted units, and then do rotate damage to your opponent and rotate this 1 step forwards, which would effectively get rid of it. Wow. So it removes all of the units in front and to the side of like that champion, and then as well it does 3 damage. So that's a nice little twist of a blessing. Ooh, and then we've got a Bloodseeker Sanguinarch. When a spell or unit controlled by this champion, when a spell or unit controlled by this champion is removed, remove a highlighted spell or unit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And also as well, she's got removal and
yeah.
removal. That's great. So she seems very useful, and she gives you 1 extra health. So that's all. She costs 9 out of 20, but that's not too bad. She's really nice, and she's a warrior wizard as well. I'm feeling that. That's all kinds of good. Oh no! Look, we've got a shiny.
As I will have to mention every episode, the foiling on these is weak.
Got a grudge, innit?
I have. I like my shiny cards to be nice and pretty, and these are not.
Oh, look, and it's those terrible smoking Mornfang pack again. We've seen them. Where's that? That's going to go in the blur pile. Okay, right, on to the next one. I don't know what they put those packs together with, but it's not working for me. Right, High Tide, it's an ability for a wizard. Restart a highlighted spell. Nice. That's really good. Okay, so that's cool. And that also plays into the whole order thing of moving the rotations on your card. So I like that, actually. Fireball spell for generic.
Yep, generic.
Yeah, generic. Right, okay, so do the rotate damage to your opponent. Increase this by 3 if the highlighted champion is engaged. So it could go up to 8.
Wow.
So that seems quite strong. Fuel the Gravetide. It's a death ability. Search your deck for 3 different unit cards and move them to your discard pile to remove a highlighted spell or unit. Now, there was another card
to heal
to heal for however many cards you moved into or out of your graveyard.
That's a nice combo.
So that's pretty cool. Cool ability. Fiery Collapse. That's what I have after a curry. Corners 1 to 3, reduce damage received from highlighted units. That's good. And then corner 4, do the 3. So you're reducing 1 damage all the time. And then corner 4, you do 3 damage. So that's nice. That's a nice little spell for Akshi. Okay, cool. So at least we're like, okay, so that makes that quite easy now. We can, you know, we can get those spells out to help turn that character spells. Boosh. Moonshield Grots. They're stacking. Flipping destruction and stacking makes me want to weep. Reduce damage received from highlighted enemies by whatever's on here. And increase that by 1 per support.
That's nice.
That's nice. Reckless Abandon. It's an ability for Chaos. Remove a highlighted unit to deal 4 damage to your opponent.
I like it.
Yeah, because you have to take one of your units off to do damage to them. But that's quite nice because some of your units are quite weak at times. So taking them off to do 4 instant damage to your opponent is like, yeah, I can do that. Plus it would be moving your character on. So that's really, really good. Grasp from the Grave. It's an ability for death. Can only be played by a spirit champion. Rotate up to 2 highlighted units 1 step forwards. Wow, so you can do that for them and you can do it for your own. So these ones, you could use it to like basically get them off the board. And these ones, you could do it, well, I mean, you could do that to get yours off the board to like bump that combo even harder. That seems quite nice. I like that. Flesh to Stone, we've seen this one. That's a spell, wasn't it? Yeah. Ancient Skellies. Stacking Skellies, that's where it's at. Rotate damage to your opponent. When this unit is removed, only remove the top card of the stack.
That's also very strong.
That's awesome.
So you're keeping your stack going. I like
and also,
it.
yeah, but look at the damage.
Yep.
So if you stack that at the top and you've got 2 underneath, you're going to be doing 4 and 5.
No, it doesn't get buffed for being on the top.
Why not?
Because it doesn't say it.
Yeah, it's got stacking. That's the inherent stacking ability.
No. Supports.
Oh, no, yeah, they normally say it on the card, don't they? Oh, right. Yeah, okay. I like it, but I'd have to work out how to play it, obviously. I'm not too bright. Okay, right. Then we've got some Wild Alapex Riders. So this is for Order.
Yeah.
As this enters play, discard 1 card from your hand and then rotate damage to your opponent. It does 7 after 3. And then Heroic Act, discard an elf unit from your hand to rotate this 1 step forwards.
Nice.
Oof. That's a, yeah, that's an interesting thing to do. I like that. Collar of Corn, we've seen this before and we were pretty unimpressed with it then, weren't we? And then we've got Frostlord Vorgren Loshar. So this is a destruction guy, gives you 2 extra health for 9 like, out of your 20 points. And when this champion deploys an ogre unit, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Well, his last 2 rotations don't deploy ogre units. So he's going to be doing 4 damage in his own right. So yeah, he seems fairly legit. Where are me? There she blows. And then last but not least, it's one of these guys, but a little bit of shiny. Right, yarp. Okay. Next one. Go away. Okay, right, next one is Barrow's Will. It's an ability. Gain 1 health, increase this by 1 for each card moved to or from your discard pile this turn. This is what we were talking about in the combo, wasn't it? So we've seen that. Nice. Cascading Fire Cloak. It's a spell for destruction.
Yeah.
When a highlighted champion deploys a spell or unit, deal rotate damage to your opponent. Oof. That's awesome. 2/3/3. That's a really strong spell, that is. That's a very inhibiting spell against for any opponent. Gibbering Horror unit, rotate damage to your opponent, shuffle up to the rotate chaos spells from your discard pile into your deck. Wow, that's pretty cool. So 2 damage and 2 spells each time back into your deck from your discard pile. Nice. Shield of Thorns. When you take damage from a highlighted enemy unit, rotate damage to your opponent. Cool. Now, that's an interesting spell, because if your enemy is loaded up, you're going to be doing like 4 damage if they attack you with 4 dudes across there, or they're going to take 8 damage if they like hit you 4 times in a turn. That's a really interesting spell. Living Woods, we've got another spell here. Gain that many health, so 3, 2, and 2. Nice. That's just a nice spell, that is. That'd just be helpful, basically. Tactical Removal, it's an ability for order. Rotate any enemy spell or unit 1 step forwards to remove a highlighted spell or unit. Fair enough. So you're basically taking damage or taking whatever the effects are, so that you can then remove whatever's opposite that hero. That's cool. That was an ability. Gaze of Volcatrix we've seen. Pyroelectric Blast is a spell. Corner 2, remove a highlighted unit. Corner 3, do the rotate damage to your opponent. Oh, that's a nice little spell, that is.
Yes.
So this one takes off a unit, rotate the next turn, do 5 damage. Sad face opponent. Glimpse of the Future. Another spell. Chaos spell, I feel. Corners 1 and 3, draw that many cards. Corners 2 and 4, look at the top that many cards of your deck, and you may rearrange them and put them back on top of the deck or shuffle the deck. So that's 3 and 3, or 1 and 1 to draw, and then the 3 and 3. So you can kind of like stack your deck and then take advantage of that. That's an interesting spell, that is. Staunch Evocator. This unit can be deployed by wizards. Heroic act, rotate a highlighted Stormcast unit 1 step backwards and rotate this 1 step forwards. Okay, that's quite nice.
More manipulation going on.
I like the fact it can be deployed by a wizard as well. That's really strong, because a lot of the order characters, like the heroes, are warrior wizards and stuff. So that's actually really quite useful. Then we've got a blessing, which looks like a generic blessing. Gate to Gyron. Oh, it's a Gyron spell, whoever they are. Anyway, whatever. So Heroic Act, the rotate damage to your opponent, and you may swap the position of the champion controlling this blessing with a highlighted champion, and then rotate this 1 step forwards. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good spell. Moving your champions about can be really useful, because there are some champions where it's so easy to get them to rotate their 4. So you could rotate like if you had like a, like Skelly Bobs, you just have to put out loads and loads of other Skelly Bobs, don't you? So you could use them. You could use this to flip them away, put something else onto here, and yeah, I think that could be really, really useful. Blessing. Purifier Brazier. So it's another blessing. When a highlighted champion deploys a unit, deal 1 damage to your opponent. That's not too bad, and that's an actually one. And then last but not least, we've got a Foily High Tide. It's an ability for wizards. Restart a highlighted spell. Blah. So that is good for order. Right, nice one. On we go. Okay, so we've got Stand Together. This is a spell. Oh, I'll tell you what.
Generic wizard ability.
These colours drive us mental. Right, wizard ability. Right, so gain 3 health, increase this by 1 for each highlighted unit.
For an ability, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because you can get like 5 health pretty easily there, can't you? I like that a lot. Oh, a Scrabbling Horror. It's a mordant unit, so it's death, and it's rend damage. 1, 1, and 3. Nice. A unit is a Poised Namati Thrall. Reduce damage received from highlighted enemies by the rotate thing. Increase this by 1 if the highlighted champion costs 2 or less. Oh, so she wants to be put opposite Skelly Bobs, because they're like 1 point, aren't they? Nice. Oh, hold on. I'm wrecking my piles up in here. Right, Gorglaive Blood Warrior. Remove any highlighted units, and then it's rotate damage to your opponent. So he takes off all in front, and then he does 3 damage at the end. Oh, we've seen this guy, haven't we, I think, in a previous video. Right, Spectral Lure. It's a spell, it's a death spell. Gain that much health, and then move that many spirit units from your discard pile to your hand. Seen that before. Right, where's that at? Fireball, seen this spell before. Rotate damage to your opponent, increase this by 3 if the highlighted champion is engaged. Rush to the front is an ability. It's a Chaos 1. Gain 1 additional action. Nice. Move a unit controlled by this champion onto a highlighted disengaged warrior champion. Nice. That's a nice ability, that is. That'll allow you to pack out your front lines really well. Mornfang Hornblower. Reduce damage received from highlighted units by 1 each time. And then highlighted units gain the following effects. Last stand, 2 damage to yourself.
That's awesome. I love
that's
it.
such a good, that's a really strong unit. Just for frustration of your opponent, basically. Moon Clan Netter, I like that artwork. Gain rotate health and then treat this as a stack of 2 units for stacking and support.
That's awesome.
That's disgusting. That's so like that'd be, yeah, that's yeah, all right.
Throw it on the bottom or the middle of the stack. You've got an extra on it. You throw 2 of them on there, you're going to get some insane damage out of the top.
You can't, because you can only maximum stack 3, right?
Yeah, but if you put 2 of those down,
then
they count as 2.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. Yeah, it counts as 2, right? So therefore, you could only put either 1 underneath it or 1 above it. You couldn't put 2 of those units down, could you?
No, it counts as 2 support. So it'd do 2 damage, and the one on top, if that counted as 2 support, would also do 2 damage.
Well, that's a gain health for a kickoff.
No, with the card on top, because you do one that gives damage based on the support. That's an unhappy Mondo.
That's an unhappy Mondo spanner. Like, boo destruction. I hate him. Anyways, right, beat back. It's an ability. Gain 1 additional action. Move a highlighted unit to another highlighted disengaged warrior champion. Okay. I'm still sad about that Moon Clan net card so badly. Right, Reaper of Sorrows, it's a blessing. Rotate damage to your opponent. If the highlighted champion is engaged, the damage is done with rend. Okay, that's not too bad. A little death one there. Arrogant Grot Boss, the best kind. When this champion deploys a Grot unit, rotate this champion 1 step backwards. Right, so you do not want to be deploying Grot units on this guy. And he's got like orc units. So if he deploys orc units, he rotates forwards and he's doing damage. And then and then if you put a Grot unit on him, he goes backwards. That is a sad face. That's a really interesting card. Now 0 points. That's a very interesting card. There's got to be some kind of fiddle with that. And then we've got a foily burning head. You can barely tell. Oh, it looks quite good, I suppose. Anyways, it's a spell. It's for whoever. Now, that symbol, isn't that to do with order?
That's a spell, and it's a generic one.
All right, I'll let you off. And it says Actually on it, though. Oh, so that's that for that thing again. Anyway, right. Sorry, kids, we're getting a bit into one. Right, rotate damage to your opponent. Increase damage from highlighted units by blah-de-blah. Okay, so it increases that by 2. But then that's a double-edged sword because, look, it's 3 opponents and only 2 nice ones. Or 2 friendlies, so interesting. Okay, bosh. On to the next one. Let's see if we can't speed this up a bit. Arcane Corrasion. No, we can't. Rotate damage to your opponent. Increase this by 1 for each highlighted unit. Oh, wow. So you're going to be doing, like, many damage. That's pretty disgusting. And who's that for? That's for Order, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, man. Order don't need any help. It's the Smokers. Azurite Halo. When this exhausts... Oh, we've done that one. Spell Hunting Fleshhound. Reduce damage received from highlighted spells. Nice. Last stand. Remove a highlighted spell. Nice. Okay, that's a pretty cool one. Gibbering Horror. Seen that. Feed the Maw. 3 damage to your opponent. If this card is discarded, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Ah, so you can... Oh, no, then there's things, isn't there, we've seen on other cards where they say discard cards from your hand. So even if you discard this from your hand, you're doing 2 damage.
I really like that.
That's pretty cool.
Card.
Yeah, I like
that mechanic in there.
Yeah. Right. Mr. Beast, Razor Shell Harpoon Alapex. Say that 3 times. Highlighted units are dormant and rotate damage to your opponent. Okay, that's quite nice. Soul Cage. Highlighted spells and units are dormant. If highlighted champion is engaged, they cannot use it. Oh, we've seen that. Bosch. Relentless Charge. 1 damage to your opponent. Trigger the heroic act on the highlighted champion of the unit. This cannot trigger once per game heroic acts and does not count as using a heroic act.
That's really good.
Yeah, that is cool. That's nice because there's a lot of characters that you use, especially in Destruction, where they've got heroic acts that aren't once per game. So that, yeah, you can use that really nicely, actually. Unfortunately, that arrogant grot boss hasn't got one that we can show you, but oh, it's an ability anyway, so hold on. Right, the Maw, we've seen the Maw, haven't we?
No.
I thought we had. Okay.
We have not seen
we've
the
seen
Maw.
some other kind of Maw. Okay, rotate this 1 step forwards when any highlighted units are removed, and then rotate damage to your opponent, and it does 9.
That's beastly.
That's brutal. So you put that bad boy down, and then you just take off 2 units, and they take 9 damage. That's savage. Who's that for? Bloody Destruction. Obsidian Amulet. It's a blessing. It's passive. It's for order. If a highlighted spell would trigger its effects, ignore it and rotate this 1 step forwards. Oh dear. So that's that. So we ignore the Maw. Good times. And it's a clunky one, so even better. Twisted Necromancer. Look at that old boy. He's a very scully man. Right. Increased damage done from highlighted risen units on their last corner against your opponents by 1. And that's in front of him and to the left and right. Oh, what's that? Is that heal?
That is heal.
He's pretty cool. I like him. Okie dokie. And then last but not least, Grasp from the Grave. Can only be played by a spirit champion. Rotate up to 2 highlighted units 1 step forwards. Can only be played by a spirit champion. Rotate up to 2 highlighted units 1 step forwards. Oh, we've seen that. Sorry, my bad. Oh, that one opened nice and easy. Right, Winter's Endurance. It's a spell. It's Destruction. Gain rotate health, which is 4. Restart this if a highlighted enemy deals damage to you. Interesting. That could take quite a while, unless you're like, cheating it forwards.
Or it could work in your advantage, and when you hit the 4, then you take the damage, rotate backwards.
Yeah, man, actually, that's quite cool. Right, we've got another Stacking Spirit for death. Haunting Chain Rasp Horde. Rotate damage to your opponent. If this unit has support 2, the damage is done with Rend. Nice. So that's going to be like 3, 3, 3, 4, all with Rend. If you get that on the top of 2 others.
No, it doesn't get the bonus damage.
Goodness sakes.
You want that bonus damage.
I do want that bonus damage. It just offends me. Right. Soul Shielded Sequitur. We've seen that one. Shield of Thorns. We've seen that. Field of Gravetide. We've seen that. Life Stealer. It's a spell. The highlighted champion may use abilities while controlling this spell. Nice. Increased damage done and health gained from highlighted abilities by the rotate. Nice. That's very, very good. I like that a lot. Inferno Blades. The highlighted champion may use abilities while controlling spells.
That's strong to start with.
Yeah, and then increased damage done from highlighted abilities by blah. And that's a generic. So that's awesome sauce. Ancient Skellies. They're stacking. Rotate damage to your opponent. When this unit is removed, only remove the top card. Oh, we've seen them, haven't we? Stacking Skellies. Shambling Ghoul Horde. They're Mordant. Gain rotate health. After this unit rotates and applies its effect, rotate a highlighted unit in the same direction.
That's nice.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That's an enemy unit though, so wouldn't it rotate them backwards?
No, it just says rotate them.
In the same direction. Oh yeah, okay, I'll let you off. Order Before Glory. Draw a card, rotate this champion 1 step backwards to restart a highlighted unit. That's
an interesting trade.
Yeah, that is actually really interesting for Order, isn't it? Because they've got a lot of, because of the manipulation they have. Everwinter's Watch. It's a blessing. It's for destruction. 2 damage to your opponent. Gain 2 health. Draw 2 cards. That's a nice little boost straight off the gate.
That's straight in the deck. That's amazing.
Night Quester. He's a champion. He's a warrior. And his heroic act can only be used while disengaged Swap this champion's position with another highlighted disengaged champion. Okay, that's interesting. Gives you 1 extra health.
Only 3 cost.
And then Winter's Endurance, which we've seen, but it's a shiny. Right, okay, moving on. Go away. Mage Bane Hex. Okay. Remove a highlighted spell, rotate damage to your opponent. Seems like a nice little chaosy thing. Barrow's Will, gain 1 health, increase this by... we have done that one. We've got a play set of those now. Death for Death, remove a highlighted allied spell or unit to remove a highlighted enemy spell or unit. That's very similar to another one that we saw earlier, but it wasn't an ability, was it? I think it was a spell. Spectral Lure is a spell
That we've seen.
Thank you. Bolt of Zinch can only be deployed by a demon, champion, and then rotate damage to your opponent. It does 9. That's pretty brutal. Scrabbling Horror. Rotate, rend damage to your opponents. Nice. Gaze of Volcatrix, I've seen many times. Power of the Wah. When a highlighted unit deals damage, increase it by the rotate and remove that unit, then rotate this 1 step forwards.
That's cool.
Wow. And it's clunky spell. Pyro Electric Blast, we've seen that one. Brazen Skull Grinder. Rotate damage to your opponent at the start of your turn. 1 damage to yourself at the start of your turn. Damage from this card cannot be increased by effects. Heroic Act, remove highlighted units. So he's clunky and he could do a heroic... What? Eh? Okay, that's... He's only got 1 corner, but it's clunky. Rotate damage to your opponent at the start of your turn. But he never moves on. So he's just doing 2 damage every turn. When does he ever turn? So he just sits there for life. There's nothing on there that says rotate this 1 on though, does there? So therefore he must just sit there on 2 and then just never moves on.
I guess it's just when your opponent targets him for a rotation.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's really interesting. I've not seen... if that's the way that we've interpreted it and we've interpreted that card correctly, then we've not seen any cards like that yet so far, have we?
If you play the game, let us know in the comments, because I'm interested to see how that works.
Yeah, defo. Unit. Right, Frenzied Order.
Amazing.
Damn. It's just like straight out the gate, 7 damage. Oh yeah, that's naughty. Right, okay. An Isharan Tidecaster. While this champion controls a spell, the highlighted champion cannot use heroic acts. So that's opposite, can't do heroic acts. Oh, naughty. Yeah, okay, she seems all right. And a Shambling Ghoul Horde. Thankfully, we've seen them. Right. Balefire Corpse Cart. We saw that in a previous video. Moonshield Grots. We saw them in this video. Spell Hunting Fleshhound. Seen it in this video. Dracoline Evocator. Seen that. Feed the Maw. Seen that. Haunting Chain Rasp Horde. Seen them. Soul Collection. Shuffle up to 1 elf from your discard pile into your deck. Increase this by 1 for each highlighted elf unit. Yeah. Culling Mournfang Rider. Heroic Act. Rotate damage to your opponent and rotate this 1 step forwards. Blah. So basically you have to do heroic acts with that to actually move it on. But the damage it does is horrific. 2, 3, 3, 4. That's dutty. There we go. Feeding Frenzy. Can only be played by a vampire champion that has dealt damage this turn. You may search your deck for a vampire unit and move it to your hand. If your deck was searched, shuffle it afterwards. Nice. Abyssal Darkness. Oh, look, it's a little lightning whale there. And by little, I mean dirty, great, massive one. Reduce damage received from highlighted enemy units by rotatey blah. Highlighted allied units and spells cannot be removed. Oof.
That's a lot.
That feels very nice. Although, interestingly, you can remove that spell because it's not green on the middle. So that's good. Right, Trials of Fire. It's a generic blessing for Akshi again. Don't know what that's about. When a highlighted unit leaves play, deal rotate damage to your opponent. Oof. Oh, now then, that's really interesting. So if you got that down and then you got down another card where it's like remove like multiple units, oh my days, you're going to be doing some work, because that's like 9 damage, isn't it?
Yep.
That's like blur. That could be very, very strong. Evocator Prime, we've seen this guy. Oh, and a nice foily Bolt of Zinch. That's actually quite nice. Don't mind that foiling. It's a nice subtle foiling, and it makes that bolt look really cool. Nice. Okay, moving on. Right. Arcane Corrasion. Rotate damage to your opponent. Increase this by 1 for each highlighted unit. I think we see that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's that. Stand Together. Seen that one. I recognise the artwork. Winter's Endurance. I've definitely seen that. Azurite Halo. We've seen that. Gibbering Horror. Yep. Cascading Firecloak. Moonclan Netters.
Nice.
Bloody Moonclan Netters. They're disgusting. Razor Shell Harpoon Alapex. Highlighted units are dormant, and then rotate damage to your opponent. That's all right. Cursed Glaive Acolyte. Rotate damage to your opponent. Increase this by 1 for each highlighted spell. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's chaos as well.
You got to be running lots of wizards though, or at least 2 anyway.
Yeah. But you could build a deck like that, couldn't you? A Bossy Orc. A unit. As this enters play, if it has a support of less than 2, you may search your deck for a grot unit and deploy it under this unit. Heroic Act. Deploy a supporting grot unit onto a highlighted champion. Rotate this 1 step forwards. Oh yeah, look, this is another double sticker, double clunky. So unless you do his Heroic Act, he's just going to sit there. But then does he do damage?
There's no damage on it.
That's a really interesting card. Don't you think?
Yep.
Yeah, all right, okay. It'd be interesting to see how that works in game.
You fish big grot units out with him.
Yeah, and then just like absolutely stack up the dudes on either side of him. That's awesome. Right, we've got a generic, oh look, Gyron. A generic Blessing. Gain rotate health, and then the highlighted champion cannot deploy spells or units. Stick that opposite. If you manage to get that off of anything, I suppose, isn't it? It's going to be like doing work. Oh, nice. Ogroid Thaumaturge. Ogroid Thaumaturge. I'll get my teeth straight. Hold on. When the highlighted champion uses an ability, deal 2 damage to your opponent.
That's awesome.
Sad face. That's a
minus
sad
2
face.
health. Minus 2 health though.
I suppose so, but he's only 5 points.
I think it's a good trade-off.
I do. And also as well, if you put him, the way that you put your cards out, you know, the first person puts down 1, the second person puts down 2, then you put down 2. So as long as you keep him, as long as you don't put him down first, you can put him so that he's opposite somebody who has to use abilities to rotate. And then, you know, you're automatically going to be hitting them for like 2, 4, 6, 8 damage, depending on how many abilities they've got to do to get that off. So he's actually really interesting. Oh, and then a foily Blessing for destruction. Rotate damage to your opponent. Reduce damage received from highlighted abilities by the rotate as well. Nice. That's nice.
Very nice.
Nice. Oh, that looks nice in the foil as well, actually. I quite like that. You love the foiling, don't you, Mr. Kaz?
I do not like this foiling at all. I will say it in every episode. I've already said it today.
Fuel the Gravetide. Bye-bye. Hex Wraiths. Nice to see you. Mage Bane Hex. Senior. High Tide. Restart a highlighted spell. Have we seen that? We've seen that, haven't we?
Yep.
Rune Bearer. We've seen Yao. Poised Namati Thrall. Seen you. Inferno Blades. Highlighted champions may use abilities while controlling spells. Increase damage done from highlighted abilities by blah. Have we seen that?
I think we have.
I think so. Awesome. Yeah, it is really good. Rush to the front. Gain 1 additional action. Move a unit controlled by this champion onto a highlight. Oh, yeah, we've seen that one. That's an ability, isn't it? Yeah. Looming Harridan. I don't feel like we've seen this. Right. Rotate damage to your opponent. And then when this unit is exhausted, shuffle it back into your deck. Nice. Wraithstorm. Discard the top rotate cards from your opponent's deck. Deal rotate damage for each unit discarded in this way. 2 and 2. That's like got some quite interesting duality of purpose, hasn't it? I quite like that. That's quite cool for a death spell. Oh, Hyper Snare Seed. Blessing. 3 damage to your opponent. Increase this by 1 for each highlighted unit.
Yes.
Wow. That's insane. So theoretically, if it's loaded and you get that out, it's 11 damage. Generic. Going in many
Every deck.
everything. Right, no rest for the wicked. It's a death spell. It's got an absolutely gnarly picture on it. Deploy up to 3 spirit units from your discard pile onto highlighted champions.
Wow.
Did someone say stacking skeletons? Let's rock. Oh no, yeah, that's a blessing. My bad. Right, and then Power of the War in the foily. We've seen it. That's a spell. Go away. Fiery Collapse. I've seen that because I think I made a curry joke about that. Savage Stickers. Now, we've not seen these guys yet. So they are stacking. They are orcs or orcs. Rotate damage to your opponent. If this unit has support 2, highlighted champions cannot deploy units.
Nice.
But it's not, you're not getting that support health. You're not getting that support damage,
No.
are you? So that's nice. That makes me happy. Twisted Skull Cannon, I've seen you. Last Ditch Strike, it's an ability. 2 damage to your opponent, increases by 3 if all highlighted champions are engaged. Pretty good. Very, that seems quite, like your opponent wants to have all 4 of them, but it's very rare that they have all 4 slots filled, isn't it? So, Crushing Hordes, ability, remove the top unit of a highlighted allied stack with support 2 to remove a highlighted enemy unit or spell. Have we seen that one?
I don't think so.
Sure we saw something with a similar effect earlier on. Life Stealer, spell. Highlighted champion may use abilities where increase damage done and health gain from highlighted abilities by blah. We've seen that, haven't we? Mornfang Hornblower. Whenever I see that, I think, blimey, was this gazer on, like, it reminds me of Horatio Hornblower, obviously. So Mornfang, Horatio, bosh. Price to pay, that is some cool art. That's a nice pick. Can only be played if a highlighted unit was removed this turn. You may search your deck for a spell and move it to your hand. If your deck was searched, shuffle it afterwards. That's pretty good.
It's handy.
Yeah, but I mean, you're pretty much always going to be they're either removing or you're removing. So it's not a bad little ability, that one. Soul Collection, shuffle up to 1 elf unit from your discard pile into your deck, increases by 1 for each. We've seen that. Grim Portents. I've not seen this. So it's an ability for generic, draw 1 card, and then look at 2 highlighted, unrevealed blessings. You may swap their positions.
That's really useful.
That's so cool. I hope we get a playset of them. That'd be well useful. Midnight Mark. The highlighted champions are wizards in addition to their regular class. They may use wizard abilities while controlling a spell. Nice.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad. And that's a death one. Oh, and then Bloodmaster, Herald of Khorne. He's rampaging. Oh, he's even got flavor text. Come on. He's got nothing else, but he's got flavor text. Rampaging combat masters, more than capable of taking down slews of mortal fighters in a show of sheer savagery.
I like his quests that rotate him.
Yeah, action, deploy. That's pretty... Yeah, he'd be easy to spin, and he's only 2 points as well.
2 health.
Yeah. And then Surround them. We've got a foily Surround them. We've done that one already. Nice. Okay, Reckless Abandon. We've seen that. Crushing Hordes. We've seen them. Winter's Endurance seen. Arcane Corrosion. Stand Together. Balefire Corpse. Thingamajigger. Cart. Split Casting. Ability. This can be played while controlling a spell. Gain 1 additional action. Move a spell controlled by this champion onto a highlighted disengaged wizard champion. Not bad. Just the extra action in its own right is good. Blood-Soaked Banner we've seen. Hellsaber Ishlan Guard. I'm going with that. Remove a highlighted unit. Rotate damage to your opponent. Very nice. Zangor for Skyfires. Rotate damage to your opponent. Draw that many cards. Last stand, your opponent gains 2 health. Random. That's a very interesting chaos unit. Demon unit as well. Because you've got to go through those first, haven't you, as well, before you get to there. So that's really interesting. God King's Aspect. I'm a pretty girl. The highlighted champion cannot use abilities or heroic acts, and that's a blessing, and it's passive. So that basically shuts down whoever's opposite that guy.
That's really strong.
That is very good. Slaughter Priest. Love to see them. Was it Warcry, isn't it? Slaughter Priest and Warcry. Brutal. Okay. Removal. Deploy, removal. That's interesting. Heroic act, 2 damage to yourself, remove a highlighted spell. Oh.
The most interesting thing is he's a warrior wizard.
And he's a warrior. Oh, yeah. Nice. That's actually, yeah, he's actually really good. And the fact that he's got a heroic act that does removal, it means you're almost guaranteed to get this lot out fairly fast. Because it's like heroic act, deploy. Wait for them to go away, deploy, heroic act. You know what I mean? Like, that's like 3, maybe 4 turns max. And this guy's going to be rotated. So, very interesting. 8 points. He's not bad. And a foil Balefire Corpse card. Yay, we're finally through to the second stack. If you are still here and you are still watching, respect. Like, yeah. Right. Gorglaive Blood Warrior. Remove any highlighted units and then rotate damage to your opponent. Oh, we've seen that guy, haven't we, I think. Hacking Morn, Fang Pang. Can't speak. Seen that one. Last Ditch Strike. Done that one, haven't we? Yeah, I think we've done that one. Tactical Removal. Rotate. Yep, done that one. Stand Together, we've definitely seen. Moon Clan Netters suck. No, it wasn't them. It's some other one.
No, it's the Moon Clan Netters. You love them. They're amazing.
Boo, Moon Clan Netters. The thing is, though, they can't go on top of stuff. They can only go underneath it. Because they haven't got stacking.
Oh, yeah.
Ha. I told you could only put one thing on top of them.
And it says they count as 2 units for stacking as well as support. So, yeah.
Have it. Right. We've seen these old boys. Soul Cage. Oh, well, that stops my soul rage at those flipping netters.
They're still awesome.
Seen them. Obsidian Amulet. If a highlighted spell would trigger its effects, ignore it and rotate this 1 step forward. Have we seen that?
I think we have.
Oh, that is pretty.
That we've definitely not seen.
Yes, that's what I was trying to infer, but thank you for that. Right, search your deck for up to 2 spells and deploy them on highlighted champions, ignoring normal restrictions and placing any card they currently control.
Wow.
Damn. So that is a bit of a powerhouse chaos blessing, that's naughty. And then Arcane Corrasion. Seen it. Not bothered. Right. We haven't had any like foil super duper champions, have we?
No.
That's really interesting. In our last box opening, if you've seen it, I got that foil Nagash and had to go and have a couple of minutes to myself. Right, Reckless Abandon is an ability. We've seen that. Living Woods, gain rotate health, 3/2/2. That's nice. That's generic. Fireball, generic. Seen that bad boy. Loads of generic spells in this set. I do like that. I really like that as well. Tactical Removal, we've seen that. Relentless Charge. Don't think we've seen that one. So 1 damage to your opponent and then trigger the heroic act on a highlighted champion or unit. Oh no, we have seen that actually. My bad. Inferno Blades, definitely seen that. Ancient Skellies, we've seen them. They're stacking Skellies. Surround them. Move the top card of a stacking unit. Control this champion onto highlighted. Yeah, we've seen that. Bosh. Midnight Mark, I've seen that. Oh, look at that. Oh, we've seen him. And then we've seen them as well. Go away. Right. That actually makes me feel better about that other box that we opened, because like to get a foil Nagash then actually seems like it was like almost like a chase card kind of thing. That's cool. Right, Scrabbling Horror. Seen him. Cascading Fire Cloak. Oh yeah. Spectral Lure. Balefire Corpse Claw, blah blah. Mage Bane Hex. Gorglaive Blood Warrior. Yeah. Shambling Ghoul Horde. Gaze of Volcatrix. Power of the War. Wiggle. The Maw. Oh, I've not seen the Maw. Yeah, we have. God King's Aspect. Bloodmaster Herald of Khorne. So it's nice to have 2 of those because they're so dirt cheap and the flipping actions are so good. You can be spinning them till the cows come home. And then a foot. That's actually pretty tart. I'm feeling that. Quite like that. I know you moan about the foiling, but I think sometimes subtle foiling does work.
Yeah, but I don't like. It's only on a few pieces of art in this entire game. Like, I just feel it's so weak overall.
All right, yeah, that's legit. But like, I don't know. I think a subtle foiling, you know, like.
Okay, people in the comments, the foils in this game, are they good or not? That's what I want to see in the comments. Let me know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's legit, I suppose. Right, Fireball. Seen that bad boy. Dracoline Evocator. Yeah, go away. Right, yeah. Have some of that. Seen you. Yeah. Pylon. Yes, we've seen that. That's an ability. I've seen you. Beat. It's the back beat. Oh, Embrace of Akshi. Oh, we actually find out what Akshi is. No. Deal damage to your opponent equal to the combined value of the highlighted spells and units' current corner value. Deal damage to the opponent equal to the combined value of the highlighted spells and units' current corner values.
That's strong. Potentially.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, that would actually be really good if you played that in conjunction with that ability that allows you to look at your blessings. Because then you could time your champion to rotate so that you could get some actual maximum kind of damage off of that. That'd be, if that was even possible. Oh, it's an accursed White King. His heroic act is, if this champion controls a unit, gain health. And his things are, deploy a unit, do an action, deploy a unit, do damage. Insta damage, isn't it, that one? He seems pretty naughty. I quite like him. Oh, look at that. That's the most disappointing. This Collar of Khorne is like the bane of the set. This is like the troll card of this set. Do you remember when we first saw it, we were like, that's weak. Boo. No comment?
No comment. Like, I hope it plays better. Like,
It just looks Bob, right? Like, heroic act, remove a highlighted spell. Okay, that's not too bad. Then rotate damage to your opponent. So it's get rid of a spell and rotate 2 damage. And then
the same again.
Yeah.
I think it might, you know, I don't think you're going to run it, but I think it'd have its uses.
Yeah, that's fair. Abandon, Crushing Hordes, Fiery Collapse. Every time I see that, I just, yeah. Right, Flesh to Stone. Let's cover it up. Cursed, what's it? Blood Soaked thingy. Grim Pants. Choking Vines. Okay, so that is a generic, another generic blessing. Nice. And this one's a clunky 4-way, as it were. When a highlighted spell or unit would rotate this instead in the same direction.
That's interesting.
That's really interesting. So basically it stops. You can use it to stop your opponent's units from rotating. That's interesting. That's actually really useful. And also as well, if you had that out and they did a spell or an ability that rotated it forward one, you could say, no, and rotate this instead. That's going to really mess with order, I think. That looks like a really interesting. I mean, you've got to get it out first because it's a blessing, but I think that's actually quite interesting. Frostlord, Vorgren, Loshar. I remember trying to mispronounce that earlier. And then we've got a foily spell. You know what? I don't mind that. So don't forget, in the comments, don't forget to rate this out of 9 and 10. How much do you like the foiling in this set? You can only choose a 9 or a 10 there in case you didn't understand that level of rubbish humour. Right, we've got the Hacking Smoking Pack. They can go away. Spectral Lure. Last Ditch Shrike. That's just like a suicidal little bird. That's an ability. Balefire, Bloody Blah. Life Stealer of What's It. High Tide. Hellsaber, Ishlet. Oh, I can't say that anyways. Oh, a Thundering Concussor. That's an awesome name. Right, rotate damage to your opponent. The highlighted champion cannot use abilities. That's not actually too bad.
Yep.
Quite like that. Rush to the front, senior. Not senior as in an old person, I mean like I've seen you. Right, Rave Storm spell. Here we go, here we go. Oh, it's like a football match. Right, so this is a blessing. It pops out, obviously, once you've rotated your hero. Corner 1, rotate damage to your opponent.
5.
Corners 2 to 3, highlighted champions cannot deploy spells.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I like that. I don't play Destruction, so I don't like that. But yes, that does it. Oh, Reaper of Sorrows, another blessing, Death. So this model is from GW, not affiliated. Although if you want to pay us, we're well up for that. But I love this model. It's Lady Olinda, isn't it? It's called, I think. It's just a beautiful negative space model. It's just so clever. All right. Feeling that. Anyway, what does it do? Rotate damage to your opponent. Nice. 2, 3, 3. If the highlighted champion is engaged, the damage is done with rend.
That's pretty good.
Okay, that's all right. And then no one cares. I do love that Lady Olinda model. It's beautiful. Such a good model. That's one of the things that always gets me about AOS. Yeah, you can whack this in the comments as well. How do you feel about AOS? Like, I could never be bothered to play it, but the miniatures are off the chain. Like, some of them are so pretty. It's just by far and away some of the best stuff that Games Workshop knocks out is in the AOS range.
I completely agree with that. I don't like the game. Like, I'd rather be playing Old Fantasy Battle. And I don't like the lore change.
Yeah, I didn't even understand the lore change. What is it? Nagash blows up old Earth, old Middle Earth, or whatever the hell it was called.
The old world.
That's the one. Who knew? And then what? Then it all goes off into like fractured bubbles. It's as if Games Workshop saw COVID and bubbles coming on. Right, Death for Death. It's an ability for chaos. Remove a highlighted allied spell or unit. Oh, we've seen that, haven't we? No, that's similar to something else. Remove a highlighted allied spell or unit to remove a highlighted enemy spell. Oh, that's similar to that 4 damage one. That's kind of interesting. No. 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 Seen it. Seen you. Relentless Charge. 1 damage. Have we seen that?
I don't recall.
1 damage to your opponent. Trigger the heroic act on a highlighted champion or unit. This cannot trigger once per game.
Yeah, we have.
Yes, we've seen that. All right, fair enough. Soul Collection. I've seen that. Burning Head. Get to the doctors. Frenzied Order. Blessing. Oh yeah, just 7 damage. We've seen that one. Arrogant Grot Boss. Bosh. And then Fuel the Gravetide. We've definitely seen that multi times. Reckless Abandon. Yes, we've seen that. Oh, that's literally that 4 damage one I was just cobbling on about. Hacking, Mournfang Pack. Adieu. Shield of Thorns. In that pile. Last Ditch Shrike. It's that suicidal bird again. Tactical Removal. We've seen that, right? Yep. Cheers, buddy. Soul Shielded Sequitur. Bosh. Inferno Blades. Be gone. Yeah. Looming Harridans, always bad. Oh, Rewrought from Death, ability. Swap a highlighted unit with a unit from your discard pile. Oh. Normal restrictions apply. This does count as deploying. Interesting.
I think that's a really good card.
I do, because it means you can get someone to their last corner, play that, pull out either any kind of replacement, and it goes back to its first corner, right? So it's almost like it's not an action cheat. It's like an overwrite cheat
But
almost.
it also counts as deploying. So if you've got 2 unit quests in a row.
Oh yeah, you could double deploy on one dude. Yeah, all right, that's pretty dark. I like that. I've enjoyed it so much, I ended up spitting on it. Right, there we go. Seen you. You're naughty. Oh, it's the High King of the Deep. How unlikely is that? Is that not oxymoronic, High King of the Deep? At the start of your turn, deal 2 damage to your opponent if all highlighted champions controlled elf units. Yeah, if you had a wizard or a warrior and then you got all elves out, that could be quite useful.
It seems...
But then it's like a famine amount of damage for quite a lot of effort, right?
Yeah, that's what it seems to me.
It does give you 2 extra health, though. Oh, and that's another beautiful foil. Oh, I like it. This guy's got shiny eyes. Oi, oi. Or aye, aye. Or aye, 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 aye. All right, don't be like that. Come on. Right, hold on. Next one. No. Oh, Guided Vanguard Hunters. Rotate damage to your opponent. Heroic act. Move this unit to another highlighted disengaged warrior champion. That'd be really good. For, like say you had a guy who has to do has to deploy regularly to get round to do the 4 turns. You could deploy one of those, move it away. Deploy one of those the next turn, move it away. And then that gets them spinning round quite quick, doesn't it? So that's good. I like that one. He's cool. They're cool. Seen you, I think. Yeah. Seen you. Winter's Endurance. Price to pay. I'm putting that in the wrong place. Ancient Skellies. Pyroelastic Blast. Treacherous Bond. Oh, we're not seeing this one. And that is a dope piece of artwork as well.
Yeah.
What you got? The Ogroid Thaumaturge holding up some Sigmarine and giving him a slap upside the head. Right, when a highlighted unit or ability deals damage this turn, deal damage equal to that to your opponent. Oof.
Yeah, that's good.
Man, if you can get that to stick around, that is going to do work. Yeah, especially if your wizard is in the middle 2 squares. That's really cool. All right, we're feeling that spell. Everwinter's Watch, I've seen that. Oh, there, talk of the devil, and he shall appear. Ogroid Thaumaturge. There you go.
Can run a pair.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, we've got a couple of them now, haven't we? And then a Moonshield Grots. Blah. Right, we're motoring through now, kids. We're almost there. Poised Namati Thrall. I even said it right. You know it's true. Death for Death, seen you. Twisted Skull Cannon, painful. Shield of Thorns, see you later. Rumor Bearer, in your face. Hex Wraiths, there you go. Yeah, we have seen them, haven't we? Grasp from the Grave. Can only be played by a Spirit Champion. Rotate. Oh, yeah, we've seen that one. Sorry. Yep. Seen you. Power of the War. We've got more Powers of the War than flipping... What's his name? That big chunky orc out of 40k.
Gazgul.
Bless you. Zangor Skyfires. We've seen them. Natural Mantle. Gain rotate health. The highlighted champion cannot deploy spells or units. Can't remember whether we've seen that or not, but that seems nice. Oi, oi. God King's Aspect. There's a picture of not me. The highlighted champion cannot use abilities. Oh, we've seen that, defo. It's a blessing. Bosh. Oh, a glimpse. Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Multi-eye. Have we seen this one? Oh, yes, we have. Corners 1 and 3, draw cards. Corners 2 and 4, look at the top cards of your deck and rearrange them and stick them on the bottom.
We have seen it.
So we have seen that one, but nice in foil. Look at you with your, ooh, at foils. there you go. That's how you turn Aunty Kaz's eye. Turn his head. It's with some pretty, what's it? Weak foiling. Right, next one. See you later. Right, Spectral Lure. Gorglaive Blood Warrior. High Tide. Guided Van... Oh, we've got 2 of them now, at least. That's a bonus. Fiery Collapse. Sorry, man. There's just something about that. Soul Cage. Bosh. Hell Saber. Ishlayan. Bless you. Gaze of Volcatrix. Emerald Life Swarm. Right. Okay, Emerald Life Swarm. Gain, rotate health, move, rotate units from your discard pile to your hand. Bleh.
There's only 2 though.
Yeah, I suppose, and it's only at the end. If there was like some more numbers here, that would be like dark. Is that generic or death?
I think it's generic.
I think it's generic, isn't it? Embrace the Akshi. Nope. Oh, Foul Butcher. I've not seen him. So, when a highlighted unit is exhausted, gain 1 health. Okay.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's all right. And then what's he got? Direct damage, heal, direct damage, spell. That's a rum old combination, isn't it? And his destruction. Oh, that's interesting. We'll have to have a look at the destruction abilities and spells. Oh, Frenzied Order. Oh, that's a nice foily.
I think that's a really weak foil.
I don't know though, man. I'm trying to make it work for me, but yeah, I see what you're saying. It's kind. I don't know. He's just got a little bit of foiling on his shoulder pads, and then this fiery stuff in the background is foil. Oh, last pack, Aunty Kaz. What are you saying? What do you think? I think it's not been too bad.
I really like this set. I love all the generics that have been thrown in there.
Yeah, because they were severely missing from the first set. Right, Cascading Firecloak. No. Seen you multiple times. Multi. Ability. Last Ditch Strike. Yes, done that one. Pylon we've seen, right? Oh, Mirror Pool, that's a new one. Yeah, we've seen that one. Mirror Pool. So this is another clunky. There's a lot of more clunkies as well. So it's kind of like making your front line effectively like more static. I quite like that. When this exhausts, deal 4 damage to your opponent. Heroic Act, swap the positions of 2 highlighted champions and rotate this 1 step forward. Oh.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, defo.
Like being able to swap around. If you can look at your Blessings Burst as well, swap around, and then deal 4 damage at the end of it as well. Yeah, seems good.
But it's going to cost you 3 actions, so that's a turn and a half, just to exhaust that and get its full potential out of it. No, 2. No, 3, because you've got to cast it for 1, and then you've got to do it twice, haven't you, to get rid of it. So, but like, I think moving your heroes around, as I said earlier, or we were sort of talking about earlier, if you've got one who spins like so quickly because like they're deploying loads and loads of stuff, this kind of thing where you can then move them to deploy the cards from underneath the blessings, that can actually be fairly strong, or it definitely was when we were playing like the first wave. So be interesting to see how that works out, and it's generic, so bonus. Thundering Concussor, Myrmorn Banshees. Oh, now there's a noob. Remove a highlighted spell and then rotate damage to your opponent. Increase this by 2 if a spell was removed. That's random. Does that mean they don't do any damage, or does that mean it actually does this remove a highlighted spell bit?
No, that's when you play it, I'm assuming. And then the rotate damage is nothing, and then 2.
So it's not remove, and 2?
No.
Oh, that sucks. I don't know whether I think they're good or not. They feel like stacking fodder to me. Torbad's Ride. He's got his rims are spinning. Right. It's a blessing. Rotate damage to your opponent. Reduce damage received from highlighted abilities. We've seen that. A Foul Butcher. Does that just mean he chops up a lot of chickens? You know you love that joke. Come on, don't lie to yourself. And then Abyssal Darkness. Oh, no, actually, foiler. So the lightning. Oh, look at that, man. No, can I get it in the thingamajigger? Look, you can see the furry whale in whatever that's called, Shadow. Anyway, I like this set. I think this is going to be real interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to go away, build some decks, play some games, and find out what we feel about this and how much it's changed the game. Like, I'm a little disappointed we didn't see so many new mechanics. Like, there didn't seem to be any real new mechanics.
I don't know, though, because you've got, like, the ones where you've got, like, not characters, but units that lock off, that are clunky. Or, like, you had that clunky unit where it only had 1 corner. but it still had an effect. So I think that's really cool. I also, one of the things that I would say is that if you have only ever played the first wave, destruction is rough. And I think in here, there are some cards in here for destruction that are really, really cool, but I would say that you wouldn't change a first wave deck of a destruction deck much compared to, say, chaos. There's some stuff in here for chaos, and there's loads of stuff in here for death.
And Sigmar.
That look really, oh yeah, and Sigmarines.
Really good.
Yeah, like that 7 damage blessing, and then also those guided, whatever they were called, guided Sigmarines, basically. Like I can see them being really quite useful, and then there's quite a lot of abilities as well, isn't there, that I think I can envisage being really useful in decks going forward. So yeah, I give that a thumbs up. I think that's a 1.5 thumbs up. There we go for that bad boy. Anybody who played this back in the day, if you if you want to comment and tell us how you found it going from first wave to second wave, I'd actually be really interested in those comments.
I'd be so interested to hear from people who played it at the time.
Yeah, defo, because I'm sure I remember, like, when I was in my LGS back in there, I swear I remember people just saying, oh, there's this one faction that just absolutely dominates. And like, from playing wave 1, I would say that would be destruction. But I'd be really, really interested to know how that, what the meta shift was, I suppose, kind of thing, going into wave 2. And then also wave 3 as well. Like, I'm really interested to see what wave 3 brings now, because this feels like it's raised up chaos, raised up Sigmarines, raised up death, and then kind of like not deflated destruction, but like just, you know, kept them ticking along because they were strong in the first place, or that's what it felt like when we were playing. So yeah. Cool. Right. Well, if you've enjoyed that, please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And we shall see you in the near future. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this episode of Two Man Meta, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date as we release multiple episodes each week. If you would like to help support the channel, check out the links in the description below, as well as links to our social media pages. Thank you for watching. See you next episode.